Fever to new heights of success, perhaps converting them into league powerhouses.
I love her brother too. He's awesome. Obviously a Pacer too. We were in a little commercial together, so I love their family. They're just awesome people.
Join us as we explore Cheryl Miller's history, uncovering the tales and secrets surrounding this USC legend.
I was 13 years old, and there was an article in the newspaper, she's 13 and she can play.
And imagining what the future holds for Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever under Miller's tutelage. Cheryl Miller's rise to basketball stardom started at Riverside Polytechnic High School, where she immediately established herself as a prodigy.
My dad and my mom did a great job. Thank God my mom was a registered nurse, because it came in handy.
In one memorable game, she scored an unbelievable 105 points, propelling her team to an unprecedented 4-year record of 132, including an 84-game winning streak and 4 consecutive CIF titles.
So that's the fun part. I found out about this less than a week ago.
Her brilliance was evident, and she became the first high school player, male or female, to be chosen a Parade All-American 4 years in a row. In 1981, she was named the National High School Scholar Athlete of the Year, setting state records for points scored in a single season and career.
It was, if you're gonna do something in life, do it passionately. You know, and some people may not be like that, but
her supremacy continued at USC, where Miller cemented her place among the best basketball players of all time.
My life is completed full circle, coming full circle and getting the opportunity.
Trojan, she led the team to a 112-20 overall record over 4 seasons, winning back-to-back national titles in 1983 and 1984. In both championship campaigns, she was selected NCAA Tournament MVP, demonstrating her ability to execute under pressure and lead her team to victory. Miller's accomplishments did not end there.
Just for women. Just for women. And it's not just a facility for women, it's a facility that is hands down better than probably, and I'm not inflating this number.
She was also named Naismith Player of the Year 3 times and won the Wade Trophy once. She was a 4-time Kodak All-American who departed USC with virtually all of the school's records.
Well, that was a wonderful thing and blessing for me with my 2 older brothers, is they were able to buffer my dad a little bit, like back off. Otherwise, she's going to quit.
Including career scoring, scoring average, career rebounds, total field goals, and free throws. Her outstanding performances won her the distinction of ESPN Female Athlete of the Year in 1984 to 85, as well as Player of the Decade from the Women's Basketball Coaches Association.
Probably 98% of the NBA do not have a practice facility like that, with all the bells and whistles, and the bells and whistles that make sense.
When the Pac-12 Conference announced its All-Century team in 2016, Cheryl Miller was appropriately voted Pac-12 Player of the Century, a fitting homage to her immense effect on the sport. Her stellar career has included entry into the USC Hall of Fame in 1995 and the Pac-12 Conference Hall of Honor in 2018. Even USC retired her number 31 jersey in 2006, guaranteeing that her legacy will be remembered for future years.
And if you sow a character, you reap a destiny. Now, I'm certainly not saying that I was destined for the Hall of Fame.
Miller's foreign career was similarly successful.
They know, and we certainly have come a long way. And I'm not about gouging, but it's a long time overdue.
She led the USA squad to gold medals in the 1984 Olympics, the 1983 Pan American Games, and the 1986 Goodwill Games, where she scored the most points for each team. These achievements solidified her reputation as a worldwide basketball superstar. With such a distinguished career, some may be surprised to discover that Cheryl Miller never competed in the WNBA. The professional league did not exist when she graduated from USC in 1986.
But we never knew that. We never knew that side, because my dad was like, I'm in the military and everything, but he would do that whole thing.
And knee problems ended her playing career before the WNBA was established in 1996.
I think it's hard sometimes looking at the dynamics of, you know, a dad and a mom, is somebody's got to end up
Miller, however, continued to contribute to her favorite game. She moved into coaching, taking over at USC, the Phoenix Mercury, and Langston University. Her ability to nurture and develop new talent, which she developed throughout her playing days, was a defining feature of her coaching career.
On this planet wouldn't want to be in this situation. And now my job is to stand back, roll out the ball.
Miller spent 17 years as a television reporter and commentator for TNT.
And we're going to continue to get better and better. All you have to do is look at, college basketball and what's coming next, the next wave.
Before returning to coaching, Miller's impact goes well beyond her accomplishments. She cleared the path for future generations of female basketball players, notably Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's emerging star.
WNBA All-Star Game. You may recognize this woman beside me, Cheryl Miller. Reggie Miller's much more successful sister, isn't that right?
Underpaid Miller.
Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's most promising young players, has voiced her respect for Miller, stating, "Obviously, Cheryl is one of the pioneers of our game and an awesome individual."
My mindset is their mindset. So it's all fun and games until the ball is tossed up. And then it's on. And these guys are competitors at both ends. And we're just going to go out there and give it a great show.
Her demeanor exudes happiness, and being around her just makes you grin. For her to train us is quite thrilling for me. It's an excellent chance to learn from someone who has contributed so much to the game.
Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston. You've been able to watch these guys from afar.
Yeah.
What's your perspective been of how they've been trending and just them individually as well?
Clark's statements reflect Miller's widespread respect and adoration among the younger generation of athletes.
One of the best that's ever played the game, so I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun. Like, I called her coach and she was like...
Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's most promising young players, has voiced her respect for Miller, stating, "Obviously, Cheryl is one of the pioneers of our game and an awesome individual."
This is how the standard is for women athletics.
Her demeanor exudes happiness, and being around her just makes you grin. For her to train us is quite thrilling for me.
I can't look at her, she won't look at me. Then we have to do individual meetings, kumbaya, coach wants to tell you what you are and what you aren't. She goes, "You want to know why I said what you did?" I said, "I don't know, coach."
It's an excellent chance to learn from someone who has contributed so much to the game. Clark's statements reflect Miller's widespread respect and adoration among the younger generation of athletes.
Yeah, you'll have to see how I do during the game, so no, but it's super fun. And then obviously Eddie Myers-Drysdale too. Getting to be around those two people that have done so much for the game.
Miller's presence alone lends credibility to the Indiana Fever organization. As a game-changing player, her mastery of basketball's complexities is unparalleled.
I know you're strict, can we just find a common ground? The common ground's that gold medal. And she goes, "Yes, it is." I said, "Coach."
Her ability to find and nurture talent might be the trigger that propels the Fever from the bottom of the rankings to a league-leading position. Miller's impact on the Fever is already being seen as she collaborates closely with the team's coaching staff and players, providing advice and mentoring that only a legend of her kind can provide. However, Miller's effect extends beyond the basketball court. She's also a strong supporter of gender equality in sports.
I really don't, I don't obviously talk about legacy because I'm still alive. I don't care what you guys say when I'm dead, but
and she's not hesitant to speak up about problems she feels are holding the game back. Miller was openly critical of the league's new TV rights package during a pregame interview at the WNBA All-Star Game. She advocated for a fourfold increase over the projected $2.2 billion over 11 years that the WNBA is expected to earn beginning in 2025. "I'm not great with numbers, but that's a lowball offer. Not even close," Miller said. "We've gone a long way, but now it's time for us to get what we deserve. I don't support gouging, but it's long overdue."
But it was a great collaboration with all the players, but Indiana has a very, very bright future.
Miller's desire for further financial investment in the WNBA demonstrates her conviction in the league's ability to develop and prosper. She understands that the WNBA needs finances to recruit great players, grow facilities, and reach new audiences. Miller's advocacy for the league demonstrates her dedication to ensuring that future generations of female basketball players have the resources and support they need to excel. excel. With a force like Cheryl Miller pushing for the league, the WNBA has a lot to look forward to in terms of player growth and leadership transparency. Miller's impact is particularly beneficial to the Indiana Fever. Fans were ecstatic to watch their three young stars. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell have the chance to be mentored by a great like Miller.
I will say one thing. I did not count on their basketball IQ being that high. I knew it was high, obviously, because they play at this level.
Miller's encouraging statements about the Fever's future have only increased the enthusiasm. Indiana has a very, very bright future, she told the crowd. These young players are learning how to play the game, learning from their errors and making improvements. The only thing that will happen as they grow older is that they will learn how to stop running, shift momentum, and gain confidence. This is not a team that people want to play down the stretch because they're improving and showing no fear. Miller's enthusiasm for the Fever's potential is contagious, and it's already affecting the team's attitude and performance. Miller's trust in the players' ability has motivated them to play with fresh purpose and intensity. The Fever's recent performances on the court have shown hints of progress, and under Miller's leadership, they might be on the verge of a significant breakthrough.
Not only speaks volumes, it's one thing to be young and they're learning how to play the game and they're learning about their mistakes and how to correct them.
Miller's impact extends beyond the technical elements of the game. She also assists the Fever players in developing the mental fortitude and resilience required for high-level competition. Her personal experiences as a player who overcame obstacles to reach excellence set a strong example for the team's younger players. Miller's ability to engage with the players on a human level, offering her thoughts and knowledge, is fostering a strong, unified squad that believes in itself and its capacity to achieve. Miller's engagement with the squad has also energized them. They understand that having a legend like Cheryl Miller on their side is a game changer, and her presence might be the key to the team's turnaround. As the Fever progresses and gains confidence, the supporters unite behind them, wanting to see their club reach the top of the league. Miller's impact is also felt across the WNBA, as her statements and actions generate discussions regarding the league's future. Her plea for further financial investment in the WNBA has resonated with players, coaches, and fans alike, sparking a wider conversation about how the league can continue to develop and prosper in the coming years. Also, her influence extends beyond her historical achievements. Her ongoing contributions continue to shape the landscape of women's basketball. Her recent remarks concerning the Indiana Fever underscore her deep understanding of the game's evolving needs and the direction in which the league should move. As someone who has not only dominated on the court, but also made significant strides off it, Miller's voice carries weight in discussions about the future of the WNBA. The Indiana Fever, with their roster of young talent, could greatly benefit from Miller's insights and leadership. Her ability to inspire and mentor players is unmatched, and her involvement could be the catalyst that propels the team to greater success. The potential for the Fever to rise in the ranks under Miller's guidance is a thrilling prospect for fans and players alike. Moreover, Miller's advocacy for better financial investment in the WNBA highlights her commitment to the growth and sustainability of the league. Her call for a significant increase in the league's TV rights package reflects her belief that women's basketball deserves recognition and resources commensurate with its value. This stance not only supports current players, but also ensures that future generations will have the opportunity to thrive in a well-supported league.
Because not only are they getting better, but they're confident and they show no fear. They're fearless.
So what is the future for Cheryl Miller and the Indiana Fever? Will her engagement with the club result in a turnaround in their fortunes? How will her push for more financial investment in the WNBA affect the league as a whole? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Cheryl Miller is a force to be reckoned with, and her impact on women's basketball is far from over. Skylar Diggins reportedly attacked Caitlin Clark during a WNBA game, and then Shannon Sharp revealed the issue on national television. This topic has been trending on social media, and we're here to break down every aspect for you. Make sure you stay around because we've got all the background, responses, and aftermath you need. Let's get to it.
A little bit of everything in this one, but the bottom line is Seattle wins, and they go to 2-3, and Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever gave it a great effort, but they fall 2 points short, and they are now 0-5 on the season. My goodness.
To truly comprehend what transpired between Skylar Diggins and Caitlin Clark, we must backtrack a little. Caitlin Clark has been among the most talked about players in the WNBA this season. Leading her squad, the Indiana Fever, she is not only building a reputation for herself, but also ruffling some feathers along the road.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years is I'm very grateful, starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds, the curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So yeah, I think the people that have made it the most special, obviously my teammates, my coaches, but it isn't what it is without all of you. So seriously, I mean that, and I thank you. And this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
Her ferocious competition, paired with her ability to excite the fans, has earned her a polarizing reputation on the court.
Yeah, I think for me, anytime you go up against somebody that's super competitive and has that same drive and will to win, that's what you love. That's what competitors love. These type of games is what makes our game so great. It's what people want to turn on the TV and watch. I expect the viewership numbers to be through the roof for this. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the pressure that she probably feels on the weight of her shoulders, and that's a lot to deal with somebody that's 22 years old and has that many eyeballs on her, and being able to manage that. And I know she probably has a lot of people around her that help her, and that's definitely something unique.
During a recent game against the Seattle Storm, emotions were already high. The Indiana Fever, captained by Caitlin Clark, dominated the Storm. The game finished in a blowout, with the Fever claiming a dominating win. However, the drama did not finish with the final buzzer.
Tisha Pettichero's record for most assists in a season by a rookie. Here's Clark speeding all the way in to the cup. Boston gets into the arms of Clark. Clark, the crossover, the throw.
After the victory, while Caitlin Clark was celebrating with her teammates, Skylar Diggins, a seasoned league veteran and Seattle Storm player, approached Caitlin. Skylar apparently bumped into Caitlin in an unexpected manner, which many are calling an assault. This wasn't a casual brush, it was a planned deed that shocked the WNBA community. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark is recognized for her passionate style of play and her excitement for energizing the audience. She wasn't trying to be nasty, she was just enjoying a hard-fought triumph. However, Skylar Diggins seems to have interpreted this incorrectly. The event was caught on film and rapidly went viral, igniting a heated discussion on social media.
That will officially do it. Indiana gets its first win of the season against Seattle. 92-75 the final. As Christy Sides and Noelle Quinn exchange a long hug.
Shannon Sharpe, a former NFL great and now a well-known sports broadcaster, became aware of the occurrence. He was candid on his program. Shannon went off on Skylar Diggins, criticizing her behavior and supporting Caitlin Clark. According to Shannon, Skylar's actions were extremely inappropriate and showed a lack of sportsmanship. Shannon's response was a combination of amazement and fury. He couldn't understand why a seasoned player like Skylar Diggins would engage in such behavior, particularly against a rising star like Caitlin Clark. Shannon emphasized that Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's future face, and acts like this are damaging to the league's reputation. When Shannon Sharpe's words aired, the social internet erupted. Fans and experts alike commented on the scenario. Some backed Skylar Diggins, claiming that Caitlin Clark's actions were provocative and that she had it coming. Others agreed with Shannon Sharpe, saying that Skylar's behaviors were inappropriate and unprofessional.
In regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops herself. She recently spoke on her podcast, Queens of the Court, and didn't mention the rookie when speaking of Indiana's rise in the standings.
The discussion raged on Twitter, Instagram, and other social media sites, with hashtags like #TeamCaitlin and #TeamSkylar trending for days. Everyone had an opinion, and the WNBA found itself at the center of a contentious debate. So what came next? The WNBA took note of the situation and initiated an inquiry. While the league has yet to release an official comment, reports claim that both players have been talked to about their actions. Depending on the result of the inquiry, Skylar Diggins might face fines or penalties. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has stayed pretty silent about the situation. In a post-game interview, she dismissed the incident, saying she is focused on winning and does not have time for drama. However, this episode has exacerbated her burgeoning animosity with Skylar Diggins.
To the rebound, Clark a good look. She got it. had missed her first 6 from deep. But no hesitation there.
What a dime! Clark to Boston!
Let's examine the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Skylar Diggins. This is not the first time the two have battled on the court. Their competitive mentality has resulted in some heated battles in the past, and this most recent episode is just the latest chapter in their saga. Caitlin Clark, as previously said, is renowned for her fiery attitude and ability to get under her opponent's skin. Skylar Diggins, on the other hand, is an experienced player who has seen it all. The fact that these two are at opposing ends of the spectrum, one a rising star, the other an accomplished veteran, only adds to their conflict.
Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41% shooting, 33% from three-point range, leading the league in assists. Her last 5 games, Shannon, 22.5 points per game on 46% shooting, 11.4 assists per game. They've won 4 of their last 5, and now the Indiana Fever are 7th place overall and in playoff positioning. Caitlin Clark is real. She's coming, and I still contend she should have been on Team USA, Shannon. You saw the attendance for Team USA compared to everybody else. If she was on that team, that wouldn't have been a problem. I stand by my position from day one. She's real.
Where are the people that Stephen A? Oh, she don't do this. She not gonna do that. Let her cook. It got so bad yesterday, the Seattle Storm, they pulled their starters so she couldn't get that double-digit assist record 3 consecutive games with at least 20 points.
But why is this competition so important? The WNBA is now seeking to expand its fan base and get more exposure. Rivalries like this one benefit the league because they produce narratives that fans can connect with. However, when things get violent or personal, it may result in unwanted press, which the WNBA does not need right now. This event has triggered a bigger discussion regarding the condition of the WNBA and its players' conduct. Some feel that the league must tough down on unsportsmanlike behavior in order to retain its credibility. Others argue that such situations are just part of the game and contribute to the value of entertainment. There is also the question of how the media depicts female athletes. Shannon Sharpe's words, although supportive of Caitlin Clark, also exposed athletics' double standards. Male athletes are often praised for their passion and competitiveness, but female athletes who exhibit the same characteristics are criticized or labeled as too emotional.
And 10 or more assists. They pulled their starters, and then Skylar Diggins, Fake Smith, her last name, she bumped into her, sped up. Let her cook. But if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd have told Skylar Diggins, get your coat, your brim, and get on out of my gym. Let her cook. I want to know what y'all saying now, because she is legit. She's better, Stephen A. She's better than I thought she would soon.
The WNBA has been battling against the double standard for years. The league wants its players to be seen as strong, talented athletes, but it also wants to avoid the bad stereotypes that sometimes accompany that. It's a difficult balance, and events like the one involving Skylar Diggins and Caitlin Clark further confuse matters. As the WNBA season progresses, all eyes will be on Caitlin Clark and Skylar Diggins. Will their rivalry increase more, or will they find a way to move on from this incident? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, fans will be watching attentively. Caitlin Clark has already shown that she is a force to be reckoned with, and this event simply adds to her mystique. Meanwhile, Skylar Diggins must determine how she will handle the matter in the future. Will she apologize and make apologies, or will she continue to play the villain?
I thought she would be good. You and I both said she's gonna be good because she got 2 skill sets. She can score the basketball and she can assist the basketball. So if one is not going, the other one will. But a lot of people say, oh, this and that. Let her cook. Y'all stop being petty. Stop being catty, because she like a double-edged sword. She cutting tail left and right. And it's bothering y'all, and I see it. Let's go, Caitlin. Hey, do me a favor, CC. Send your favorite uncle a jersey with your autograph on it, and I'll wear it.
Shannon Sharpe's words also had a big influence. His comments are important since he is a recognized person in the sports world. By naming Skylar Diggins, he has drawn even more attention to the problem and pushed the WNBA to confront it. Some may argue that Shannon Sharpe was only doing his job as a pundit, but there is no disputing that his remarks have poured gasoline on the flames. He's made it apparent that he's on Caitlin Clark's side, which may impact how the public sees the matter going forward. Fans' reactions have been divided. Caitlin Clark has a large following, and many of her followers have been vociferous in their defense. They regard her as the future of the WNBA and think other players are unjustly attacking her.
Let her cook. But if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd have told Skylar Diggins, get your coat, your brim, and get on out of my gym.
Skylar Diggins also has admirers, and they have been vociferous in their support. They contend that Caitlin Clark's behavior on the court was disrespectful, while Skylar was only sticking up for herself. This gap among fans has generated a lot of attention. Has seen a stunning surge in the importance of women's athletics, a phenomenon that has not only reshaped the playing field, but also challenged long-held beliefs. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are two amazing athletes who are leading the charge. While their paths have been different, their influence on the sports world has been nothing short of revolutionary. On the one hand, Caitlin Clark's recent accomplishments have established new standards, captivated audiences, and inspired young athletes throughout the world. Angel Reese's climb to celebrity, on the other hand, has been welcomed with both affection and condemnation, especially when Dan Patrick publicly rejected her. These incidents provoked extensive discussion, shedding light on larger themes such as gender, media coverage, and the changing face of women's sports.
So it's no fun, but I know me and Kayla will go at it if anything, just out of competition though. She wants to win, I want to win, and we're both just two great players that want to compete.
Angel Reese, noted for her basketball skills, has swiftly become a household figure in the world of women's sports. Reese, who was born and reared in Baltimore, Maryland, has achieved great success through dedication and perseverance. Her early career saw her excel in high school basketball, where she won multiple awards and established records. Reese's adjustment to collegiate basketball was simple, and she immediately established herself as a major player for the University of Maryland's women's basketball team. Her NCAA achievements have been nothing short of outstanding, and her ability to score, rebound, and defend makes her one of the league's most versatile players. However, Reese's journey to celebrity has been subject to controversy. Her bold and outspoken personality has made her a divisive figure in the sporting world. Some like her outspoken attitude, while others criticize her for what they see as arrogance. Regardless of the conflicting comments, there is little doubt that Reese has had a huge influence on women's basketball. Her ability to attract attention, both on and off the court, has raised the sport's popularity and sparked debate regarding the public image of female athletes.
Reese the old board, Reese the putback,
Offensive board leads the WNBA in that category. Well done.
All right, fair assessment. Nice pass from Clark. Yeah, first minutes. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, what a dime from Clark. And Jones.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has stunned the basketball world with her exceptional skill and competitive passion. Clark, who grew up in West Des Moines, Iowa, started playing basketball at an early age. Her enthusiasm for the game was obvious from the outset, and she soon rose to the ranks of high school standouts, smashing records and receiving national acclaim as one of the best prospects. Clark's transition to college basketball was punctuated by a number of standout performances that cemented her position as a budding talent. She has frequently given jaw-dropping performances while playing for the University of Iowa, including many 40-point games and clutch shots that have astounded fans and observers.
Yeah, I think for me, anytime you go up against somebody that's super competitive and, has that same drive and will to win, that's what you love. That's what competitors love. These type of games is what makes our game so great. It's what people want to turn on the TV and watch. I expect the viewership numbers to be through the roof for this. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the pressure that she probably feels on the weight of her shoulders, and that's a lot to deal with somebody that's 22 years old and has that many eyeballs on her, and being able to manage that. And I know she probably has a lot of people around her that help her, and that's definitely something unique.
Clark's effect on the game extends beyond her remarkable stats. Her playing style, which features a deadly mix of shooting, passing, and court vision, has distinguished her from her colleagues. She has been likened to some of the best players in the sport's history, and her ability to produce under pressure has given her the distinction of being one of the game's most clutch players. As her fame rises, Clark's impact goes beyond the court, motivating a new generation of players and redefining women's basketball expectations.
Minutes. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, what a dime from Clark. And Jones
makes Caitlin Clark elite at the very top in terms of players.
First time.
Dan Patrick, a well-known character in sports journalism, has long been recognized for his honest thoughts and important voice in the profession. His opinion on sporting events and athletes often has a substantial impact, molding public perception and provoking debate among fans and specialists. However, his recent comments regarding Angel Reese have sparked widespread outrage, highlighting the intricacies of media portrayal and the problems that female athletes face.
She didn't speak to the media after the game against Caitlin Clark, but a member of the Chicago Sky, the national title winner at LSU, and she talked about where all this attention started with her and Caitlin Clark, and she had this to say.
The event in issue happened during one of Patrick's radio appearances when he publicly chastised Angel Reese for what he saw as unsportsmanlike behavior during a major game. Patrick's disapproval of Reese extended beyond her on-court activities. He also criticized her confident demeanor and outspoken temperament, implying that she needed to tone down her personality if she wanted to be taken seriously in the sports world. These remarks instantly went viral, sparking a flurry of responses on social media and throughout the sports world.
If she would have left it with what she had to say right before the last couple of words, I would have been fine with it. She's embraced the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well. She is cashed in, literally cashed in.
The consequences of Patrick's rejection of Reese go beyond her career. It emphasizes the continual fight for female athletes to be recognized and acknowledged on par with their male counterparts. Reese's experience serves as a reminder that despite the progress achieved in women's sports, major hurdles need to be overcome. The event also highlights the role of media coverage in molding public impressions of athletes, especially female athletes, as well as the need for a more egalitarian and inclusive approach to sports criticism.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that. Even Caitlin Clark getting knocked down in that game on Saturday, who's standing up applauding but Angel Reese? So she's sort of embraced a Draymond Green role here.
While Angel Reese dealt with the consequences of Dan Patrick's criticism, Caitlin Clark was creating history on the basketball court. Clark performed a masterclass in scoring, passing, and leadership during a recent game that has been recognized as one of the finest performances in college basketball history. Her effort not only helped her team win a key game, but also established a new bar for what is possible in women's basketball. Clark's game-changing moves extended beyond beyond her performance on the court. Off the court, she has been a vocal champion for gender equality in sports, utilizing her position to highlight the discrepancies between men's and women's athletics. Her stance has resonated with both fans and other athletes, gaining her great affection and respect. Clark's initiatives have also highlighted the need for more investment in women's sports, ranging from improved facilities and resources to expanded media coverage and commercial possibilities.
Holly's fighting through it today. Here's Clark bodying in, head banking it home. Caitlin Clark with 20 points and assertive to the cup. Here's Clark bouncing, Boston hitting.
The cultural significance of Clark's recent acts cannot be emphasized. Her success has inspired a new generation of athletes, especially young girls, who regard her as a role model for what they may do. The media coverage of her accomplishments has also led to a change in the narrative around women's basketball, with greater emphasis placed on the ability, talent, and competition of female players. This increased awareness can draw more fans to the sport, resulting in additional chances for women's basketball at all levels. Clark's effect is seen on a global scale. Her triumph has rekindled interest in women's basketball in places where male sports have historically dominated the sport. International fans have taken note of her skills, and there is rising speculation regarding her future in professional basketball, whether in the WNBA or elsewhere. Clark's ascent to fame exemplifies the ability of sports to cross boundaries and bring people together, and her influence on the game will be felt for years.
Hit the three in the corner, Boston the rebound, Clark a good look. She got it. Had missed her first 6 from deep, but no hesitation there. What a dime! Clark to Boston!
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's experiences provide a captivating case study on the interaction of gender, media, and sports. The way these two athletes are depicted in the press indicates a lot about the difficulties that female athletes experience in achieving the same degree of notoriety and respect as male competitors. It also emphasizes the importance of media coverage in molding public opinions and larger cultural narratives around sports. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has received much acclaim for her confidence and competitive spirit, raising issues about why the same attributes are valued differently in different athletes. Part of the answer might be the way the media develops storylines around certain athletes, which are often based on preconceived assumptions of what a female athlete should look like. These myths are tough to dispel, and they influence how the public perceives athletics.
Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41% shooting, 33% from three-point range, leading the league in assists. Her last 5 games, Shannon, 22.5 points per game on 46% shooting, 11.4 assists per game. They've won 4 of their last 5, and now the Indiana Fever are 7th place overall and in playoff positioning.
Social media has also had a significant impact on how the public perceives Clark and Reese. Platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok have allowed athletes direct access to their followers, enabling them to manage their narratives to a degree. However, social media can be a two-edged sword, amplifying both good and negative criticism. Reese describes social media as a war where she has had to defend herself against detractors while simultaneously creating a dedicated audience. Clark has used it as a platform to exhibit her accomplishments and communicate with people all around the globe.
Obviously, people don't understand, like, if they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team.
The interaction of gender, media, and sports is complicated and influenced by a range of elements, such as societal expectations, media practices, and individual personalities. Clark and Reese's tales underscore the need for a more nuanced approach to sports criticism, one that acknowledges the specific problems that female athletes confront and attempts to encourage, rather than criticize them. As the media landscape evolves, there is a potential to create a more fair and welcoming atmosphere for all athletes, regardless of gender. This increased exposure has the potential to open up new options for female athletes, notably in terms of sponsorship and financial assistance. As more people become aware of the potential in women's sports, businesses may be more willing to invest in female athletes and provide them with the resources they need to thrive. This in turn might set off a virtuous cycle in which higher investment leads to improved performance, which attracts more fans and investment. However, some issues must be addressed. The occurrences involving Dan Patrick and Angel Reese illustrate the persistent problem problem of gender prejudice in sports and the need for more fair and inclusive media portrayal. There is also the matter of how to maintain the momentum created by the achievements of players such as Clark and Reese. While their tales have drawn attention to women's sports, this focus must result in long-term change rather than just a fleeting fad.
Angel Reese following you around, pointing to her ring finger and taunting you?
Honestly, I have no idea. I was just trying to get to the handshake line and shake hands and, be grateful that my team was in that position.
A variety of variables, including sustained athlete advocacy, changes in media practices, and growing sponsorship and fan investment, are expected to define the future of women's sports. Women's sports are increasingly being seen as deserving of the same amount of attention and respect as men's sports, and the tales of Clark and Reese are contributing to this shift. As more people become aware of female athletes' skills and efforts, women's sports chances will expand. As we look forward, the tales of Clark and Reese remind us of the necessity of encouraging and promoting women's sports. By recognizing and honoring female athletes' accomplishments, we can contribute to a more inclusive, equal, and exciting sports environment for everyone. We can all help shape the future of sports by increasing funding, improving media coverage, or just turning up to support women's sports. And as Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have shown, the future is bright.
Just can't avoid talking about length. Hand in her face, drains it anyway.
In the realm of sports, it is uncommon to see a player who not only succeeds at their craft, but also reshapes the sport itself. Caitlin Clark is one such athlete. Caitlin Clark, whose name has become associated with greatness, tenacity, and groundbreaking exploits, is more than just another star player. She is a force of nature who is changing the course of women's basketball and sports in general.
The ball up in time, Clark for the win!
Caitlin Clark, who was born and raised in West Des Moines, Iowa, had a challenging path to becoming a sports star. She had a lifelong love for basketball and spent endless hours perfecting her talents on the court. Clark's skill was obvious from an early age, and by high school, it was clear that she was bound for success. Greatness, however, is more than simply skill. It is also about determination, resilience, and a desire to push the limits of what is possible. Clark exemplified all of these attributes, plus more. Clark's abilities were fully on show at Dowling Catholic High School. She was a scoring machine, guiding her team to multiple triumphs and receiving recognition along the way. What distinguished her was not just her ability to score points, but also her basketball IQ, court vision, and leadership. Clark was more than simply a player. She was the lifeblood of her squad. She improved the people around her, which would serve her well when she progressed to the university level.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years is just, I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID. And then obviously my sophomore year, we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So, yeah. I think the people that have made it the most special, obviously my teammates, my coaches, but it isn't what it is without all of you. So seriously, I mean that, and I thank you. And this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
Clark not only met, but exceeded expectations when she started at the University of Iowa. As a freshman, she dominated the NCAA, averaging 26.6 points per game and topping the country in scoring. Her exploits were electrifying, evoking parallels to some of the best players in the sport's history. But for Clark, this was just the beginning. Her sophomore and junior years saw her develop her game even further, making her a triple-double threat and a nightmare for opposing defenses. By the time she declared for the WNBA draft, she had become a household name. Clark came into the WNBA with high hopes after being selected as the first overall choice by the Indiana Fever. And once again, she not only met, but exceeded their expectations. In her first season, she became the first player in Indiana Fever history to record a triple-double. This was no minor effort given the league's skill level. However, Clark's effect extended beyond her on-court accomplishments. Her arrival invigorated the Fever, a squad that has struggled to find its foothold in previous years. years.
The Indiana Fever are busting down the door of the second half of the season. They beat one of the best teams in the league tonight at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Final score 98-89 over the Phoenix Mercury.
It's a sold-out crowd here in Gainbridge Fieldhouse as the Indiana Fever return for the second half of the 2024 season. And the 2024 season is one these fans will never forget.
Clark's entrance constituted a watershed moment for the Fever. Since May, nearly 186,000 fans have attended her home games. This wasn't simply a local phenomenon, it was a national spike in interest in women's basketball, fueled mostly by Clark's star power. The Fever's games quickly became must-see events, drawing fans from all walks of life anxious to see the next chapter in Caitlin Clark's illustrious career. However, Clark's presence had far-reaching consequences outside the court. Her Indiana Fever shirt rapidly became one of the most in-demand things in sports, selling out in all sizes within days of release. This was more than simply products, it was a cultural movement. Clark demonstrated that women's sports could produce the same amount of enthusiasm, engagement, and financial success as their male counterparts, and the world took notice.
It's our first time here, so we're just excited to come from Iowa, to come here, help support women's sports, basketball, Caitlin Clark, the whole business.
It's everything. Girl dad, shout out all the girl dads out there. I love it to be able to come here, have fun, give my daughter the trip up. It's a trip of a lifetime.
My wife talked me into getting season tickets last year, and I'm so glad she did because we enjoy the heck out of this. This is just amazing.
We're ready to scream our lips off.
Yeah, I'm ready to lose my voice.
Clark signed an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike, the most lucrative endorsement agreement ever for a women's basketball player. This was more than simply a personal win for Clark. It was a victory for women's athletics in general. The arrangement included the launching of her own branded sneaker, a feat that few athletes, male or female, have ever accomplished. Clark was tearing down boundaries and creating new standards, not just for herself, but for every young girl who aspired to be a successful athlete. This degree of achievement, however, has its own set of obstacles. Any athlete might feel overwhelmed by the pressure to perform, media scrutiny, and fan expectations. But Clark has handled everything with elegance and modesty. Despite the plaudits, she has stayed grounded, concentrating on her game and her role as a teammate. In interviews, she often downplays her solo triumphs, focusing on the significance of team success and the involvement of her coaches and teammates in her path.
This is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it, you're helping us change it, so seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much, and I just feel really grateful to be here, and I've put on an Iowa jersey for 4 years, but like Coach Bluder and Kate said, like, there's still so much more fun to have, and we're not done. There is.
Clark's modesty and commitment to her art have only made her more popular among admirers. She has become a role model not just for young athletes, but for everybody who values hard work, tenacity, and dedication to success. Her effect is felt not just in the United States, but all across the globe, as her tale encourages young athletes to follow their ambitions regardless of the hurdles. The ascent of Caitlin Clark is part of a larger trend in women's sports. Over the last several decades, women's sports have made great progress in terms of visibility, participation, and financial investment. However, the trip has been complex. For many years, women's sports were ignored, with less media attention, poorer pay, and fewer possibilities for athletes to participate at the top levels. However, things are changing, and Caitlin Clark is at the vanguard of this transition.
The team do without said player. And for me, you take Caitlin Clark off the floor, I mean, that just creates so many issues for Iowa.
Tough shot there, got it to go past Cunningham.
Clark's success reflects the progress that has been achieved, but it also emphasizes the work that has to be done. While her accomplishments are admirable, they also highlight the persistent inequities between men's and women's athletics. The fact that her $28 million contract is the wealthiest ever for a female basketball player is important, but it also serves as a reminder of the financial disparity that remains in sports. The WNBA has had its own set of issues throughout the years. Despite its amazing skill, the league still needs to achieve the same degree of notoriety and support as the NBA. However, with women like Caitlin Clark leading the way, the league is starting to evolve. Attendance is up, good sales have skyrocketed, and social media engagement is at an all-time high. The Fever presently leads the WNBA in terms of social media engagement, video views, and follower acquisition. This clearly indicates that interest in women's basketball is rising, as is the possibility for further financial commitment and support.
But the other thing I like that Jalen Sherrod talked to us about was just this team and the grit and the pride and the toughness as Caitlin Clark knocks down a three. There are a lot of Iowa fans here in Seattle, and Caitlin with the steal and the stick.
The popularity of Clark and the Fever demonstrates the power of narrative in athletics. The story of Clark's journey to popularity, her record-breaking accomplishments, and her influence on and off the court has fascinated spectators worldwide. Social media has played an important part in this, with clips from her games becoming viral and her interactions with fans being widely shared. The Fever has had over 800 million video views across all platforms, outperforming major leagues such as the NBA and NFL throughout this period. This degree of involvement is unique for a women's sports team and demonstrates the impact of Clark's tale. However, as Caitlin Clark continues to reach new heights, Team USA confronts serious obstacles in the 2018 Olympics. The addition of 3-on-3 basketball has provided a new depth to the tournament, but it has also presented the US team with a number of unexpected problems. Despite their dominance in conventional basketball, the United States squad is not presently considered a major contender in the 3-on-3 version. This has prompted worries about their capacity to compete at the top levels and recover their global supremacy.
You know, it speaks really highly to the player that Caitlin is, to the superstardom that she's created, for people to feel this strongly about something that most of us who know basketball just know it makes sense. Like, everyone that has really made a case for Caitlin has made it on the side of marketing. That has been their main emphasis. That has been their main point. Even Stephen A., when we were going back and forth about it, he was like, I understand the basketball perspective.
The current United States 3-on-3 squad includes renowned players such as Canyon Barry and Jimmer Fredette, both of whom have outstanding backgrounds. However, the team needs more star power from NBA players, raising concerns about their potential to compete with the best teams in the globe. FIBA restrictions have made it tough for NBA players to participate, and the NBA season's overlap with the 3-on-3 season complicates things even more. This scenario has sparked criticism of NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who has been accused of putting sponsorship agreements ahead of the team's best interests. Many think that the NBA's influence on USA basketball is excessive, and that this has resulted in choices that have harmed the team's prospects of success. The United States team's dismal defeat to the Netherlands in a recent tournament has further fueled the flames, with many fans and commentators doubting the program's future orientation.
Caitlin is a great player, and I think the way that she's kind of came into this league, she's continuing to hold her own and show everyone what she can do. I think that, you know, I'm excited to go alongside these 12, but know that Caitlin is going to have a bright future with USA basketball. And I think, you know, the points that she made, she's even more motivated, more hungry, and just knowing that her time is going to come.
Team USA's difficulties extend beyond the absence of NBA players. In addition, financial factors have made it tough to lure elite players to the 3-on-3 squad. The salary for 3-on-3 athletes is much lower than what they might make in the NBA or elsewhere, making it less appealing to elite players. This has resulted in Team USA needing help to deploy their strongest lineup, placing them at a disadvantage in international contests. The emergence of Ice Cube's Big Three League has complicated matters even more. The Big Three has gained popularity as an alternative to conventional basketball forms, prompting concerns that the NBA regards it as competition. Some argue that the NBA would rather see Team USA fail in 3-on-3 basketball than give the Big Three more credit. In response, Ice Cube has promised a financial incentive for the gold medal winning team to participate against the Big Three All-Stars, potentially raising the reputation of 3-on-3 basketball and putting more pressure on Team USA.
You know, honestly, I'm just focused on this right now, one thing at a time. Can't always just be moving on to the next. My focus is right here.
As the Olympics approach, the question remains, will Team USA overcome these hurdles and restore its dominance? What about the international stage? The financial gap, a dearth of NBA players, and the emergence of other basketball forms all make it difficult. However, the team's tenacity and the backing of its supporters might be the difference.
So good defense, especially if you're not scoring, you can't let the Americans score.
Debbie Williams for three, the first points of the game for France.
While Team USA confronts uncertainty, Caitlin Clark continues to excel, establishing new marks and inspiring a generation. Her narrative is about determination, skill, and the ability to alter the game forever. As we prepare for the Olympics, one thing is certain: the world of sports is changing, and Caitlin Clark is leading the push. Clark's experience demonstrates that transformation is possible, even in the face of hardship. Her effect on women's athletics is evident, and it will be felt for years to come. Young athletes all around the globe look up to her as more than simply a top player. She is a pioneer who has opened the path for them to pursue their ambitions. Clark's legacy will be one of breaking boundaries, establishing new standards, and demonstrating that women's sports deserve equal respect, support, and funding as men's sports. The obstacles that Team USA faces in the Olympics are enormous, but they also provide an opportunity, a chance to evaluate the program's goals, invest in the growth of 3-on-3 basketball, and secure the United States' continued dominance on the world scene. The road ahead will be difficult, but with the appropriate preparation, Team USA can rise to the challenge and restore its position at the top. As we continue to follow Caitlin Clark's journey and the hurdles that Team USA faces, it's vital to remember that sports are more than simply victories and defeats. They are about tales, moments of inspiration, and the ability to bring people together. Caitlin Clark has already provided us with several examples of these moments, and as her career continues, we should expect many more. Stay tuned for additional updates on Caitlin Clark's journey, the progress of women's sports, and Team USA's next challenges. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave your opinions in the comments. Thank you for watching.